Do you guys find that a lot of your friends choose mates that are not necessarily, you know, viable candidates for them?
Yes. Is there just a yes or no question?
I mean, it's a yes or no question, but you can, explain.
Yes, and I think the reason why is because they don't always meet the person that is the viable candidate for them. So you figure if this is what you have to choose from, it's either you're single or you're with somebody who doesn't quite meet your standards.
Okay, so according to ABC Nightline, they took this information from a study that Yale did. There are over 1 million more black women than men. If you took 100 black men and by the time you eliminated those without a high school diploma, and then you took away those who were unemployed, and those between 25 and 34 who are incarcerated, you only have half of the black men, 54%, whom many black women may find acceptable. How do you feel about this statistic?
It's
I think it's
unfortunate.
sad.
Yeah. It kind of speaks to the fact that we do have to compromise because look what's left.
And especially if you're not looking outside of your race and you're just wanting to date a black man.
Yeah, if you take according to that statistic, if we're only looking at black men, half of us are just gonna be left out to dry, if you will. So,
And then most of them are left to be single mothers.
If you had a girlfriend who was dating a guy, and he fell short of some of the standards that you believed he should have, would you tell your girlfriend?
I've had that girlfriend.
I don't think I would. I may bring it to her attention, but I don't know if I would tell her not to be with that person. I think she may need to come up with that decision on her own.
Would you encourage someone to stay in an unhealthy relationship to avoid being single?
No.
No.
Never.
Would you stay in an unhealthy relationship to avoid being single?
Nope.
I have, but I guess only for so long. You know what I mean? So I guess no. Eventually, it's over.
How does it make you feel to be in an unhealthy relationship to avoid being single?
Crappy.
It suck.
Like you need to, break up, and eventually, like for me, there's only so much that I can take. Eventually, you're gonna leave.
Do you think it's a reflection on the state of black women and our self-esteem?
What can you clarify?
Like, do you think that any reasons that we would not go outside of our race, like Christina suggested, or reasons that we would stay in an unhealthy relationship despite, somebody who's not meeting our standards or not, coming up to our qualifications, do you think that that's a reflection on us as black
Yeah.
women? Why do you think that?
Oh gosh. Ask a question again.
Do you think that it's a reflection on black women's self-esteem?
It could be because if you feel like you're lesser or you're not good enough, then you're gonna feel like you don't deserve somebody that is great. So you might be in an unhealthy relationship because you might feel that that's all that you deserve. Or it could be the other thing where you feel like you deserve more but you can't find more. So it could it could go either way.
Christina, what do you think?
No comments.
Thanks. Okay, so with those statistics, like, how does it make you feel about black women being pretty much who's dominating the work world? 70% of black women have are getting masters and getting at least baccalaureate degrees. How does that make you feel in comparison to like the state of black men and what's going on with them?
I think that there just makes it even harder for black women to get into relationships because they are on a different level than their partner, because most likely their partner isn't going to be as educated, or they may not have as good of a job as the woman. So right there it kind of creates that what am I trying to say?
I I think what you're trying to say is it kind of creates that inequality.
Yeah.
You know, like you have the black woman up here education wise, and you have the black men down here, and they're not, they're not meeting in the middle. So this, this right here is the reason why black women do end up having to settle.
And then that may lower the male's, I guess, self-esteem.
Absolutely.
Maybe he may feel as though he's not good enough,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yep.
I think like the roles are then like reversed, because then the woman's like the one that's taking care of the family, and she's the one that's really able to make the leadership
decisions.
Yeah, decisions, because
Mm-hmm.
she, is the dominant one in the relationship.
And it can make the woman bitter too, because traditionally, the man is supposed to be, taking care of business, the provider and things like that. And a lot of times, in this day and age, the woman has to not only work, but she also has to take care of the home stuff. So, what is the man doing? That's not good.
So do you guys think that it takes a toll on the woman psychologically and emotionally?
Yeah, I think it takes a toll on both of them, to be honest. And, I want to see black people as a whole do good. Not just the women where the men are lacking or whatever, but that definitely can mess you up mentally.
Okay. So in your girlfriends, like just your friends who are our peers and the same age as us and stuff, do you find that a lot of them display feelings of low self-esteem and hopelessness when it comes to dating? Black men that have like good candidates, people for marriage.
Some of them.
Yeah. What kinds of things have you heard them say?
Let me think. I probably hear them say more so accepting of like flaws and stuff like that, or I'm never gonna find Mr. Right, or all guys are assholes.
I'm gonna die being single.
Yeah,
Never
that's
gonna
one.
get married.
Mm-hmm. Or I can't find anybody for me. Tired of being single.
So you guys think that those are reasons why people lower their standards?
Yeah, I think so.
How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I personally have mixed feelings about it, because if you don't want to be single as a black woman and you're trying to date a black man, I honestly sometimes I feel like you have no choice but to lower your standards. So I guess I can kind of understand it. If you really don't want to be single, then okay, you go ahead and lower your standards. If you don't want to lower your standards, then you kind of go ahead and be single. It's kind of like the worst of both worlds, are like double negative.
Yeah, I think it sucks, but I definitely agree with Kito on that aspect.
Okay. And then do you think that that has something to do with women's self-esteem? Like, if they feel like they have to lower their standards, how does that in turn affect self-esteem?
I think that if you're dating a person that you feel like you've lowered your standards for, then you probably feel a little worse about yourself. So I think it'll probably most likely have a negative impact on your self-esteem.